Yup, it was about time I treated myself again.
It's nice.
And if, like me, you enjoy the glossy reviews, that's cool, but what I really want to know is it a lemon?
I love playing the maracas.
Well, budget buttons for a budget wheel, I guess. So the previous version of this wheel had turbo instead of map in the centre, and had less of a rattle apparently. But that being said, this has been my only issue when not wearing headphones or flat spotting my tyres. And for those less fortunate, it can develop a squeak, some flex, and a dodgy quick release, likely all related to the internal screws working their way loose. And less commonly, the paddle shifter might also become loose, and every blue moon, the force feedback might mess with your centre dial and unwittingly change your engine map mid-race for you. So why bother when I've got something so similar already? Do I like just staring at it while I work? A little bit, but the main reason is purely convenience. Now I love GT style wheels, but some titles obviously demand the use of a round wheel. And let's be honest, nobody can be bothered swapping around the wheel rims on a regular basis, can they? And sticking with the MOZA ecosystem, there's not much choice out there without spending silly money, so that kind of narrowed things down for me. And reassuring for me to see it's been a popular long-term choice for a number of YouTubers, along with some expensive rig choices. So as an existing MOZA R5 bod and a bloke, the first thing I naturally want to do is, of course, compare my equipment. If we compare the weight, there's actually not much in it, as confirmed by the official MOZA vids. And if we compare size, also the same, which surprised me a little bit. The chunkiness and the more grown-up look and feel of the KS wheel is actually a little bit deceptive. I mean, compared to the ES Formula mod, it is just a thin metal plate the whole way around, and it does feel like it has the potential to judo chop your thumbs off if the force feedback ever bites too hard. So next we'll take a look at the paddle shifters, with the ES wheel being very similar to my Logitech G27, tinny clicks when shifting, but do you know what? In no way did I hate it. And by no means top of the range, but the KS paddle shifters obviously feel a lot more premium. I don't know about you, but my inner child is always going to think these startup lights are quite cool, and after the last firmware update, the light sequence is a little bit different to what it was, and will probably change again at some point. Now, if you prefer a dimly lit room for gaming like I do, I had to turn the button brightness right down, and adding button stickers also helps with my romantic light preference. All the button colours are now controlled via the Pithouse software instead of holding down button combos. However, I've just updated the firmware in June 2025, and the option to change the button colours the old-fashioned way has been reintroduced, so there you go. Unlike the KS, I think some wheels just don't have enough buttons for mapping everything you want. The double analog sticks are a bonus and also click down like a PlayStation controller. For me, perfect, using one to look around and the other for pitch strategy and menu navigation. And should go without saying, but make sure first thing you do is full calibration with all the latest software and firmware updates, of course. For me, this sorted out some initial notchy feeling in the wheel rotation, so since then, all good. Without labouring the point about the button rattle, this was the first and only thing that immediately annoyed me about the wheel. Since then, the force feedback settings have been tweaked, and with the use of headphones, I've forgotten the rattle even existed, to be honest. Now, if like me, you like low-level light when gaming, you can't see the TC and ABS dial positions. Now, this isn't too bad because the changes usually flash up on screen, depending on the title, of course. And in titles like ACC, a lot of pros love the zero traction control, but the problem is there is no zero position on the dials, so you're going to have to map it to 12 instead. And if you're one of those perfectionists that likes to tweak the traction control throughout the lap, there are enough buttons to map instead of taking your hand off the wheel constantly. And one more thing that could be better, Le Mans Ultimate RPM light's not working. Apparently I needed to load the game from the Pithouse game launcher, which seemed to fix things. Didn't expect that, you just expect things to work straight off the bat, don't you? Next, the eternal sticker dilemma. I had to Google what half the letters meant, and I'm sure you will too. The most important sticker, for me of course, is the FL, which stands for Get the F out of my way, you slow f***tard. Oh, and also make sure you get the stickers spot on with the little tweezer things, otherwise I promise you it will annoy you forever. So look, from all the reviews I've seen, it's a simple all-rounder for decent money, superb over prolonged use, and I'd tend to agree. There is new kit coming out all the time from various brands. which is starting to make the KS look a little bit dated, although it's still less than 3 years old. But that's the pace of the sim racing tech these days. Now, did the KS wheel set the GT wheel budget trend? I'd say it's been a benchmark product for other brands to compete against, which is pretty high praise. And sure, you can also get it to work with other wheelbases, which is a nice plus point. I've had no regrets. Lovely piece of kit, especially for the price point, and if you upgrade your wheelbase, it looks like it'll suit just about anything. And as usual, hope this has been helpful in some small way, and thanks for watching. Laters!